You found me?
What's that?
Did you find me?
Are you the one with the cigarette hanging out now?
I was only 18 then.
Yeah, that's you there, isn't it? Is that you there with
No.
the cig hanging out, no?
No, that's Kenny. I'm next to him.
Oh, you were sat down next to him? Right, okay.
Such an experience doing that and bringing it, into reality, because all we had was acetates from that for 50 odd years in a box,
Yeah.
And my friend Mark.
When did you get it done? When did they?
Well, he's a friend of mine from Guernsey. He's in a band called The Risk, and he runs this mod record label called Fab.
Oh yeah,
and he's quite well, and Cherry Red Records as well.
Yeah.
So when he came up to see me, we had a chat, and he asked me, did I have any archives? And silly question really, because I've been doing that ever since I was 12 years old. So anyway, he heard about the acetate, said I need it. I can actually get it renovated, and that's what happened.
Right.
It was renovated, and he did a short run. And
awesome.
So that was sat on the seafront of the Savoy Hotel in Guernsey, Channel Islands. No longer there. It's all apartments now.
That's where you're from, isn't it?
Yeah.
Originally. Yeah. Do you go back much?
Once a year normally, sometimes
okay.
twice.
Yeah.
All my parents and aunties and uncles are all gone now. So I've still got cousins out there.
Yeah.
And also my ex-bandmates as well.
Right.
So,
okay. Yeah.
So there's a reason to go, but it's. I went for a nice 2-week holiday. Did one gig while I was there.
Yeah.
Just to keep my hand in.
Yeah. Why not? You can't step too far away from it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how often do you get out gigging then?
Well, these days I'm technically semi-retired. It's just Dave that sort of put a bomb under me with this.
You're trying to enjoy your retirement.
No, I'm a member of different outfits, so I have run down this year basically because I've got a bit of a spinal problem, which I'm having sorted out. But at one time I was probably doing 3 or 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
But I was also for 20 years I was working for Wigan College.
Right.
At the School for the Arts there.
Okay.
I managed it for 13 years.
Right, okay.
So if I was gigging, it had to be within an hour's drive. I wasn't doing UK stuff,
When did you stop working at Wigan? Was that when it was Wigan and Lee?
Wigan and Lee. I started working at Lee and then moved across to the Lineker building in Wigan. I finished in February 2013.
Right.
And I never stopped really. I was, a one-to-one teacher as well, so I was a very busy person,
Yeah, I was going to say, have you ever taught music?
Yeah, well, that was my job really. Apart from when I was in Poacher, it was, an additional income.
Yeah.
It was a lot of half-an-hour jobs, and then teaching in Dawson, and there was another music shop called Aardvark. I taught for quite a few years as well.
I'm sure you used to go to Fraylers as well, did you?
Fraylers? Yeah, I've never taught there, but I've spent a lot of money there.
I was going to say,
a couple of times ago, Frank was still there, and I said to him, Frank, you've bought half of Gibson stock here.
Yeah.
The wall was just covered in Gibson, all the top-line guitars.
A lot of Taylors in there, a lot of Martins in there as well.
Yeah, Martins. So I bought a Taylor from him, I bought Martins from him, I bought Les Paul from him. Over the years, I don't like selling them really.
No, well,
I might swap something, usually that's what I'll do rather than flog it.
They're very personal things though, I think, guitars.
Yeah.
More than just an instrument.
Yeah,
they've got, especially if you're writing music on them.
Yeah,
you've got all of that.
This is why it just becomes very personal, because I've had this personally built for me.
Yeah.
And there are tweaks on this that only a luthier would do that wouldn't have got done.
Yeah.
In the normal way, the bridge was strengthened. There's a binding on the neck,
Yeah, just little bits.
But today I was practicing a little, and I've got this is a D28 kit version, but I've also got a D35, which is a proper version.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not amplified, those, but I've got a couple of others that have got a preamp in. They had two kit guitars as well. One's a small treble 028, and another one's what would be called a concert 28, I think. But I've got lots of others as well. It depends on what the job is, you know.
Yeah.
Because all the time that it's been going on, I've been doing sessions for people. It started quite a long time ago, and mainly in the Poacher days, and I'd be going to different studios working for Poacher and the songwriter that we work with as well, Roberto Donova. But Roberto was very proactive with doing all sorts of different sessions, releasing lots of different projects on albums and singles. So I ended up doing quite a lot of work for that, and with local Manchester session musicians as well. And so we also Poacher had our own 16-track studio as well. So I used to do sessions in there for people, recording bands and doing songwriter sessions. We actually do the build-up from scratch, you know. Yeah. So I got quite experienced at session work and production work, and I put that experience to good use when I was at Wigan and Lee College, because you know I was developing the studios and trying to get slightly more modern equipment in for the kids. I really enjoyed my work there. Well, my department had a media section, it had dance and drama, and music technology as well. We had 3 studios, recording studios, and anything from level 1 up to HND, you know. Awesome. So there was quite a lot going on.
Yeah. Good evening. That was the wonderful Harbour Moon and Blossom Tree for you here on Mix 56. And before that kicks off the show, we'd like Rolling Stone and Mr. Bob Dylan. So you and I were together 2 hours. If your working day is done, sit back, put your feet up, pour a drink, and you just let me do all the heavy lifting. If you're still at work, don't worry. Don't do any of those things. Don't relax. Don't pour a drink and don't put your feet up. However, I'm still going to be with you doing all the heavy lifting. And tonight we have a guest with us in the studio. I've got Mr. Pete Sarge Frampton. Pete, good evening.
Good evening to you, Jim.
How are you?
I'm fitting well, thank you.
Good. So, me and Sarge, we're going to be having a little chat tonight because if you've not come across Sarge, you're in for an absolute treat. Local musician. He was fortunate enough to manage to carve out a full-time gig for the odd 40 years, mere 40 years. So he's got a few stories to tell us, and we're in for a treat as well, so we're going to be playing some live music as well. So, Sarge, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
What's going on?
Well, things are quite busy at the moment, and one of the songs that I wrote has become something of a radio hit.
Yeah, we're gonna get into a bit of that a bit later on.
So that's keeping me busy and one eye on the charts.
Yeah, I bet it is. So listen, for the benefit of someone who's not come across you or your music before, give us a little whistle-top tour.
Okay, born in Guernsey in the Channel Islands, sister island to Jersey, and became a sort of a semi-professional musician in my late teens. Both bands that I worked in became successful bands in that area, and one of them sent me to London to play a gig and also do some recording. So I got some experience in London around about 1966. 67 I moved to London to study and became the social secretary, so I got interested in booking bands and being part of the local scene as well, and obviously going up to town to see all the big ones. Yeah. You name them, I've probably seen them. Right. Hendrix, Cream, the works. You know. Awesome. Yeah. So I went back to Guernsey briefly till about 1974, working as a civil servant, all the time gigging, writing songs. We doing theatre sessions, all sorts of stuff. And in 74, I was offered a gig up in the Warrington area, and decided to do it because there was linked to that was songwriting and recording sessions in London under the auspices of Tony Hatch with their songwriter, in-house songwriter, David Parton. So I came up here in 74. 75, David Parton asked me to join his band. I was with them for 3.5 years, and then I joined Poacher. I was with Poacher for 14 years, during which time we travelled a lot and
Yeah.
we were lucky enough to support the major artists that came over from the States, Don Williams, Tammy Wynette. Your audience would know her for Stand By Your Man.
Of course, Stand By Your Man,
That was the absolutely massive one. But she's a lovely lady, and we were welcome on the tour. And we did all the gigs at the big theatres and the seaside 2,000-seater seaside resorts and all that sort of thing. Travelling on the coach and everything. And it was a proper professional tour, and I learned a lot from working with the crew as well. I learned about frequencies, I learned about control of the desk and stuff like that, because the crew, who were American, they knew their onions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, thank you very much for giving us that little potted story, and I think we need to hear some music. And you've got a wonderful looking guitar with you tonight.
Okay, get stuck in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
What have you got? So I've got down on my little list here, and I'm hoping I've got them in the right order, that we're going to be a little bit of luck.
Yeah, this is a ballad that I wrote for Poacher. We had in our studio, even on our days off, we used to rehearse. And I remember turning up one day and I said, lads, I've got this slushy love song. So just listen to it and just see if we can do anything with it. So many years later, we ended up playing this on the Wembley Arena stage.
That little stage.
Yeah, that little stage, in front of 12,000 people. And so this is called A Little Bit of Luck. I want you to know that where you go, I go too. So if you want to know, take good care of it. I need my share of it. Give me just a little bit, just a little of your love. I'll take good care of it. And with a little bit of love, with a little bit of love, we can watch it grow. So girl, show me you care. I have fallen in love with you. Give me just a little bit, just a little of your love. I'll take good care of it. My share of it. Give me just a little bit, just a little of your love. I'll take good care of it. With a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, we can watch it grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarge. That is wonderful. Wonderful. Beautifully played.
Thank you.
Beautifully sung. Everyone who comes in here and sings live for me, I'm in absolute awe of them, to be honest with you. So I've got a guy lined up next from Sheffield. You may have heard of him, Mr. Joe Cocker. I believe there's a little story there.
There is a little story there, yeah. As part of my job as a student rep for booking bands, social secretary they call them, I think.
Yeah.
I was regularly ringing up agents in London to try and get bands, and we were working with Spooky Tooth, what became Brinsley Schwartz, which was actually Kippington Lodge. They played for me several times. Elmer Gantry and the Magic Opera or Velvet Opera.
Yeah.
And one day I at the end of the summer term, I rang up the agent. I said, I need somebody for the Freshers Ball in September. He said, what about Joe Cocker? And I said, okay, I've heard him on radio. You know, I just had a hit with Margarine.
Yeah.
So he said, it's going to be a bit expensive. Oh, well, tell me what's what, you know. So he said, he's got a new single coming out.
Okay.
So we've got to put a charts clause on it, and it's basically 150 quid fee, but it'll be 50 quid for top 30, 50 quid for top 20, and 50 quid for top 10.
Okay.
The night of the concert, he was number 4 in the charts. So,
Cha-ching.
so the treasurer had a bit of a heart attack, and 1,100 people turned up to see him. So we didn't have any worries about that.
What a
and he put on a fantastic show.
And you got to meet him?
Oh, actually, yeah. We had, you know, it was back in the old days where, you know, you pay cash for your band and everybody meets in the dressing room and all that sort of thing. And he wanted to come back, and I was introducing him on stage, and you know, he came back and did an encore. Crowd were in uproar.
Yeah,
of course,
he's got
he
had an incredible voice.
Oh man, he really great. And I mean, one of the lovely things was Chris Stainton, who was playing piano on him. He's still out there with Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
And all those years,
Still doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of fun for me.
Well, this is Joe's version of the letter. Just for you out there on Mix 56.
Yeah, great song.
Do you find yourself still writing new songs?
All the time.
Constantly,
yeah. All the time. I wanted to do a new song tonight, but I'm not ready for it. So, but some of the songs are still growing. You know? So try and find different ways around them, and you know, but all you know, everything I'm playing tonight is valid stuff. You know, we've actually played it. You know. So when I did the most recent stuff is for United Blues, when the guy who organised it, Ray Frick, said, I need everybody to, you know, submit some songs. I want to do an original act, you know. So no problem. Sent him a batch, and he picked 4, and then we did it in rehearsal. Recorded all the rehearsals, but there were no real takes, so we then did it remotely.
Right. Okay.
And so. And yesterday I wrote 3 sketches.
Right, okay.
And they're on my phone on video. You know, it's the quickest way to do it really these days. And those sketches, I go into my software and I can build up a track. And just see where it takes me, really.
And see what happens with it.
Yeah.
And what do you do once it's written? Is it just for yourself, or are you getting it sort of published and put out there? How does it work?
Well, publishing, I've been through many moons ago. It was like submitting stuff to publishers, and you get the letters back saying not really what we're looking for, you know. And so I'm not really bothered about that. Obviously, being a member of PRS, everything is registered as I do it, so it's copyright control. You know, all these songs are copyright controlled.
Yeah.
But you know, as well as I do, nobody's earning any money out of the music industry.
No.
Even the big ones. You know,
exactly,
my favourite songwriter performer, David Crosby, he was just so talented and constantly turning out albums.
He was amazing.
You know,
absolutely.
And the later stuff was really good with Michael League from Snarky Puppy.
Yeah.
You know, really good stuff. Great songwriting. But he was saying, I'm not making any money out of it.
Yeah, my favourite, well, it's hard to pinpoint, but one of my favourites is Neil Young.
Yeah, so me too.
Whenever he plays in the UK, I go into. So I saw him in the summer when he was at Hyde Park and stuff. And he's just absolutely. I love Neil Young. Yeah. Absolutely adore him.
He plays it for real, doesn't he?
He does play it for real. He absolutely does. And so he has made money, but not as much as you'd think he. Considering it's Neil Young.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing with Bandcamp and SoundCloud and stuff, you can actually post it to people now and let people hear it.
Yeah.
And letting people hear it is probably a vastly important thing, really, because that way you get feedback from people. You just give me feedback on my song, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know,
so how did you get into the genre of music you're into? How did all that evolve?
I haven't got a genre of music. That's the basic thing, I think. I can play blues, I can play rock.
Yeah.
All the bands I've been in have gone through major eras. You know, like the My Generation band was right in the centre of the John Mayall Blues revival sort of thing with Eric Clapton, Peter Green, the Yardbirds.
Yeah.
The pop revival in terms of the mod going on with The Who.
The Who coming out.
Right?
Yeah.
And the soul.
Yeah.
We had Wilson Pickett in the charts alongside the Who, you know.
Yeah.
And so we actually did those tunes. That the CD box set there from Cherry Red.
Yeah.
We're on CD 2, and the people on there, Pretty Things, I've supported them. Small Faces, I've supported them.
Oh yeah.
Coming to Guernsey, you know, they needed support bands.
Yeah.
And you know, it was so varied. 1 minute you're doing Land of a Thousand Dances, next minute you're doing something from Fresh Cream, you know.
Yeah.
La 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 da da da, I feel free. And then later it became Deep Purple, and then mixed up with that was David Bowie, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
you know,
he was
you know, in my set I would do something like Smoke on the Water, followed by Suffragette City.
Yeah. Well, Bowie was just on another. He was on another planet to the rest of us.
My personal thing. I was always drawn to harmony. So Crosby, Stills and Nash, Moody Blues. They were a big influence on my listening. Carpenters.
Yeah.
Fantastic Carpenters stuff. You know, and learning harmony. And I had a multi-track machine. It was a sound on sound machine back in the 60s, and I was able to practice harmony. And I also bought a synthesizer.
Right. Okay.
And I could create harmony using the synthesizer. Never frightened of spending money. it's a bad thing.
It's fun though, isn't it? It's fun.
But if you don't learn. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can't actually do a full recording just with guitars. You need keys, and you need synths or pads, you know, and then vocals.
You need to spend money.
Yeah,
is what you need
it's
to
the
do.
only way.
So, welcome if you've just joined us. Where have you been? I'm here, and Sarge Frampton is also here.
Hello.
So, Sarge and I we were chatting before, weren't we, about the whole kind of investment. I think is probably the way to put it. You've got to put into making
music.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
And there's always that little bit of whether it's a different guitar or a little pedal that you need to invest in, and it's just a continuing circle of
it's back in the day when people were making records, there was always something called the gimmick. Whether it was going to be different echoes or whether it was going to be some weird sound, and even a ratchet in the background. It would. These days there's a lot of ringtones sort of embedded in tracks to just catch your ear, you know.
Yeah.
And so different pedals doing different things. The Wah Wah pedal was the one that came out with Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
Wah 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 wah. You know, and it sounded completely different to the normal straight guitar sound. And these things can be made and they can be bought. And then one is different to the other, so you have A, B, C, and so on and forth.
Of course.
So throughout the whole alphabet of pedals, you know, I
Yeah.
have boxes of the blooming things.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes I mean, working in teaching, I wanted to be aware of what was available, what it sounded like, and whether it was worth having.
Yeah.
So quite often I would buy something just to see what it was like. So I have collections of pedals, but also amplifiers.
And where do you stand on sort of technology replacing all of that stuff? Have you got a
do you know what,
an embrace of it, or?
I've always had this attitude that I like listening to music, songs, and I can listen to it on a cassette in a car at 75 miles an hour going down the M5.
Yeah.
And I can't tell whether it's a CD or cassette or a record player or whatever. It's just I'm just singing a song in my head. So I can understand the music buff. You're going to lock yourself in an anechoic room a bit like this and play something through electrostatic speakers, and you want to hear the last breath of the trombone player. I can understand you want it to be of a certain kind of technology, but most of the technology, don't forget, transistor radios were less than the size of your tablet you've got there, and we used to listen to them on the tiniest little earpiece, and that's how I heard the Small Faces and Spencer Davis through one of those things, squeaky little thing in my ear. So I think technology is great for bringing the music to you. It's arguable whether valves are the only way of playing a guitar amp with a guitar amp, or whether nowadays technology is copying the sound of the valves because they're using algorithms and they can see the sound waves, and they're, you know. So yeah, I've got I've got a particular modelling board that I bought, and it's in Germany at the moment, waiting for me to go and play it. And one night we were having a problem with an amplifier on stage, and I just said to the sound man, there's a socket on the back, you can play it directly into the PA, public address system, folks, and it will sound proper because it's got what they call an amp simulator on it, or a cabinet simulator. And he did that, fed it back to me, and I did the gig. And it was just like the one little box on the floor, no amplifier on stage.
Perfect.
So the music gets across. That's the main thing for me,
And you're going to play another song for us. And for the benefit of the listener, what we've got here tonight is an acoustic guitar. We've got Sarge with a bag full of talent. And there is a couple of microphones. There's some buttons that I don't really know what they do, so I'll just twiddle them a little bit here and there. What have you got for us next?
This is what's known as a train song because of the rhythm of it, and it's a very country music style thing. I wrote this for Poacher, but it was inspired by leaving home, really. I'm getting on the midnight train, but I got on a ferry and came to the UK with everything I owned, including the dog and the wife, in the one car. So, that's what it is, a kind of a real life story. Here we go.
Awesome.
Well, I'm going to catch that midnight train. Now they're coming back again. Gonna make the whole wide world look up to me. Whistles blowing, here I go. Nothing in my pocket and the train is slow. Everything I own is sitting on my knee. We've been living in a tumble-down shack. You told me to get my bags all packed. What have I got to do to make you see? So I'm heading down that railroad track. Nothing's stopping me and I'm looking back. Gonna make the whole wide world look up to me. I can't sleep on the floor no more, so I'm heading out that open door. Gotta be something better in love, that's true. So I'm heading down that railroad track. No regrets and I ain't looking back. Gotta get myself so far away from you. Well, I need a lot of loving and I need some bread. And I'll never forgive you for what you said. I ain't as lazy as you made me out to be. So I'm heading down that railroad track. Not stopping me and not looking back. Gonna make the whole wide world look up to me. Yes, I'm gonna make the whole wide world look up to me. Said I'm gonna make the whole wide world look up to me.
Awesome.
Merci.
Absolutely awesome. Right, more from Sarge just after this. Brilliant. What have you got in your fight? Is that just a little plucker that you got there?
That's a thumb pick.
Yeah.
In the 80s, I had a very bad accident on my hand.
Right.
And but at that time, I was learning.
Motorbikes or?
It was a bite, yeah. It turned out to be a spider bite.
Right. Okay.
And I nearly lost my arm. So what happened was my thumb wasn't affected, but everything else was. You can see I've got like bent fingers and stuff like that. So 2.5 years of treatment, and I was able to get my claw back and my fist back.
But you were a musician at this stage. You're playing your guitar.
I was supposed to be playing, fingerstyle.
Yeah.
But the thumb pick actually saved me because I was able to hold it like a normal strumming plectrum.
Yeah.
And I stuck with it really. Even though my fingers now, I'm able to do.
How old were you when you first picked a guitar up?
My first instrument was a ukulele at 8 years old.
Right, okay.
And it had no strings on. I found it in the attic. And Mum, who was a pianist and church organist, took it to the local music shop, and they got strings on, and I had a ukulele. And then we moved on to guitar when I was about 10.
Right, okay.
An electric guitar when I was 12. I was always a guitarist. It was one of those weird things. saucepan lids on the settee and pretending they're amplifiers or dials. You know?
Okay.
3 years old doing that. My mum used to tell me.
Wow.
Weird, very, very weird. But yeah, I've always been at home with the instrument and willing to learn. And there were always a few, it was a bit difficult in the early 60s. Not everybody was able to show you stuff, you know. But every now and again I go, what did you just do? I want to learn that.
Yeah.
And then you meet somebody that's maybe a bit further down the line. I met a guy at school called Vic, and he was pretty good with chords, and he showed me some chords, and that sort of sparked me off. And you'd spend months doing chords rather than playing Apache, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And but it was all about melody in those days. 59 was the Shadows, and it was just like, oh yeah, you know, Monday evening, 8:30, me and my Shadows, Cliff Richard and the Shadows, quarter of an hour on Radio Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Must listen to, you know. Didn't have any recording versions of those, but I've got all the records at home in my garage on the labels, you know, Apache, the Savage, and all of those things. And Bruce as well.
Okay,
Mr. Rhythm Guitar, you know, fabulous, you know. They played all sorts of things like Granada, da-da-da-da-dee-da-da-da.
Yeah, they played the whole thing, didn't they?
The whole
They had
thing.
the little,
Yeah, and they
the
danced
movement.
with it as well. Yeah. I saw them at the London Palladium. Well, they were, I mean, the reason why everybody wanted a red guitar, and Fenders didn't understand why so many red guitars were being ordered,
Yeah.
and it was all to do with
With
Hank.
Hank, yeah.
And what were they doing? Instead of making red guitars, they were sending black, white, whatever it was, sending the bodies to England, and the Selmers, I think it was, were sending them down to the local guy who would spray them.
There you go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've just joined us, I'm here with Sarge Frampton, and Sarge just played a couple of wonderful tracks. And we were having a little conversation there because you're using a thumb pick there, Sarge, which is... but you've got your fingers going and your thumb pick going, but there's a bit of a story behind that.
There is. Back in the 80s, I was badly damaged by a vicious little Australian spider who poisoned my arm. And I had to have a lot of plastic surgery to get it working again, and also some therapy for about 2 years to get my grip back. But the thumb wasn't damaged. So I was able to use a thumb pick to continue playing, because I had to teach myself to be able to play guitar again completely. So I was in hospital for 4 months, I think.
What was it that bit you? Do you know?
Well, it went around the world, actually. There were people trying to find out, because I was in dire straits, really.
Where were you?
Not the band,
Yeah.
health-wise.
Yeah.
But eventually they thought that it was actually an Australian whiteback or whitetail spider. And we'd been living in London at a hotel, and there were Australian students from London University living in there. We knew them because we used to drink with them in the lounge. And so I woke up with a bite on the back of my hand, and by tea time my arm was as big as a tree, and I was I was in Chichester Hospital.
Wow.
You know, so anyway, that's the reason why I end up favouring a thumb pick. However, I got my finger style back.
It's definitely still there.
It's come back. So I keep playing every day. We keep it because I play every day. Then I write every day.
Right. Okay.
So that's the whole thing.
And you're
now.
still writing music every day, are you?
All the time, yeah.
It's just in you.
I wrote 3 sketches yesterday.
Yeah.
And record those. And I've got a Tascam, the digital recorder, voice recorder, which is very, very easy to use. And so any idea, I just record it. And you don't use every idea, but sometimes it just embeds itself in something else.
Right, okay.
You know, so it's the idea, really. I can be sitting having a cup of coffee with my dog on my deck, and suddenly, boom, little lyrical idea came into my mind. And the other day, about a few weeks ago now, I was sitting there about 11 o'clock in the morning, and the silver moon was visible.
Right, okay.
And I had this, pale, pale moon. I ended up with a song called Pale Moon, you know.
Perfect.
And it'll make its way onto the waves sometimes.
Yeah.
Airwaves, you know.
So we've got a couple more tracks to play and we need to talk about Buttermarket. But first, I think you're going to do one more live track for us.
Okay.
Rolling Along?
Rolling Along is a song I wrote specifically for the United Blues and Rock Explosion, which is the band, a very European band. And there is a live story to this one. When living in Guernsey, we had a shed at the bottom of my garden, and my band, Ponder's End, was a three-piece, and we used to rehearse in there. And it was not as big as this room we're in now. So drums, bass and guitar, little power trio. And the butcher's wife up the road was able to hear, especially the bass. And so she just commented to my mum once, well, we can hear the boys practicing. And Mum said, is it a problem? And she said, oh, no, carry on. So we did. So that's every band needs a practice room, and it's not always easy to find.
100%, 100%.
So, I've practiced in underground German bunkers. I've practiced in theatre prop rooms, all sorts of things.
You just need a space.
So this is Rolling Along.
Wonderful.
And it's Mama's on the phone saying, what's that noise?
Take it away. Take it away.
Here we go. Well, Mama's on the phone saying, what's that noise? All right, Mama, it's just me and the boys. We're rocking on a song and it won't take long. Just a little bit of blues, a whole lot of soul. Something in the water, keep me rock and roll. All right, Mama, yeah, we're rolling along. Rolling along, George is on the case. Rolling along, Fanny's rocking the bass. Rolling along, Sarge is on guitar. Here come the drummer. Ooh, just a little bit of blues, a whole lot of soul. Something in the water, give me rock and roll.